Milana, I would like to mention exactly who you are and your title. I know you hold a very special title.
I am a certified numerologist in psychology.
Why do you think it's important for us to pick the right times and dates in life?
Something so simple yet so deep that it's just all in our birthday. So what does that tell me about you? You are a leader. You are a businesswoman. You're a boss babe, basically.
Welcome to Olga Zakinova Podcast. Milana, I'm so honored for you to take your time and to fly here all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. It is my pleasure for us to pick today a very special day, which you mentioned to me that numerology is the key to picking the right time and the dates.
Yes.
So it seems like today is October 1st. Wow, can't believe it's October 1st. And we're starting to record our podcast at 1 p.m. on the dot. Why do you think it's important for us to pick the right times and dates in life?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you. I am honored and I'm grateful for this opportunity that you have found the time for me to be here.
Thank you.
And I'm honored, like I said, and really, really grateful to be here. It's a pleasure to meeting you finally. And love your energy, love your vibe. And going back to numbers, I actually picked this day specifically because for you.
Why?
It resonates with you.
Why?
So as we spoke prior, you are considered to be an archetype 1 because your birthday is 19. And so your basically soul day or, your soul number is considered to be a 1. You're like the sun that's shining upon everyone. So the first energy is the beginning of something new. And that is specifically why I loved choosing the date to start something new, start something big that's going to make it really, really out there.
Wow. Very exciting. Well, Milana, I would like to mention exactly who you are and your title. I know you hold a very special title. It is very important for our audience to know and understand before we start our conversation who you are, what you do, and how you arrived to it.
So I am a certified numerologist in psychology. I got into numerology 3.5 years ago and been practicing it, learning it from different numerologists from overseas. I have great coaches, great teachers who I look up to. And bringing my life into numerology made my life literally upside down.
Really?
Changed my life completely. Changed who I am today. Because numerology helps us and guides us to who we really are. We get to understand and learn who we are within ourselves and understand what we are really here for and what is our purpose in life. So, and it's something so simple yet so deep that it's just all in our birthday. Because every number that is in our birthday represents a certain energy, and those energies are your qualities, your strengths. And when you understand what those qualities are, you understand what pathway to take.
So what pathway do you recommend I take?
Oh, you're definitely on the right pathway.
So you meaning real estate is my...
As I mentioned prior, right, you are an archetype 1. So what does that tell me about you? You are a leader. You are a businesswoman. You're a boss babe, basically. So being in what you do is literally your world. You wouldn't be able to survive without what you're doing. So having a team, having people being by your side, working for you is something that you're meant to do.
Wow.
So if there are people actually who are born on the 1st, 10th, the 19th, and the 28th of any month, they're also boss babes or leaders if they're guys too, right? They're meant to be the leaders and businessmen growing big empires.
Wow. So you're telling me that it's very natural that comes to people that possess that number?
Yes. Yes. You will see that even as a child, you will see, if you pay attention to little kids, you will understand as well, like which one is which archetype they are. Someone who is a 1, they'll always be first everywhere because they're not followers. They will make sure to tell people what to do because they won't tolerate when others tell them what to do. So
it's very familiar feeling.
Yeah, so very strong masculine energy.
Wow.
And for women, sometimes it's actually very hard.
Yes.
Being a 1, being in a very masculine energy, it's great outside of your home, but it gets tough at home with your partner, with your kids, because you want to lead. You can't let go of that leading position even when you get into your home. You forget that now you're just a mom and a wife. So, yeah.
Shifting is hard.
Shifting is definitely hard. But that's something that we're here to learn. Because in numerology, we're capable to tell what is your purpose and what are your programs, right? Because we're all born with our subconscious programs. And everything is told by the date of birth. But our key and our goal is to get out of the program and create a new system for ourselves, which is the shift, right? It's very hard shifting from one energy to another energy. And that's exactly what we're meant to do. So the energies that you don't have in your birthday, the numbers, those are the energies that you're going to be lacking. Those are the qualities and the capabilities that you'll be lacking. So for someone, for example, who does not have a 2 in their birthday, they lack understanding. They lack the femininity in them. They lack of being empathetic to others. It's hard. They don't do it on purpose. It's just subconsciously something that they're missing. So, but it's something that they're here to learn. And majority of the times their partners or their kids will come as 2s. So that's just how life works.
I would have never imagined that numerology possesses so much details and key elements, right? But the interesting part, which is very interesting to me, we have a date of birth and we have a day of our expiration. The life in between happens to be the time that we invest into what we learn and give back to the world. And as I share this with you, it's, to me, time is more important than any currency and money. Because time can never be bought back. Time invested, you can never turn around and request it back. Time that you're investing right now, at the time of our expiration, you need to be able to look back and say, you know what? I lived a great life. And I've invested every minute of my life into something very, very important. Either for myself, for the family, or the world. And this is honestly, Milana, you know that I'm perfectionist. And maybe that's why I'm good at what I do. But time to me is the most important element. Why do you think for other signs it's not as important?
So that's actually a great question. For someone like you, you're always staying on top of everything because, like I said, you have that masculine energy in you and you're a leader. And for you, wasting time is being useless.
Right.
Right? So if you're not doing anything, you're not productive, you're useless. But there's something that we need to understand, specifically you as an archetype 1, that not everyone runs off of your type of an energy.
Mm-hmm.
And some people value their time differently.
Mm.
So it's all about understanding. Yes, time is money, time is everything. But for some people, time is different. They perceive it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding your energies, I understand why you're telling me this, but I wanna let you know how important it is for you to also learn how to unwind.
Mm.
That's the hardest thing for you to do.
Very.
You don't know how to relax.
No.
I bet you that you don't even get relaxed when you get massage. You're always thinking, what can I do next?
No, foot massage I enjoy.
Foot massage.
He knocks me out.
Thank God
Thank God I have something, right?
Thank God.
Yeah. No, it's a very important factor for me. And I do have some family members that when they see me talk and say, "You wasting your time." And the answer is, I am not wasting my time. I am learning and I'm getting experience. It is my time. Allow me to do what I have to do. And this is where I just go back to work because that's where I could control my moment of giving and my moment of receiving, right? So the exchange becomes very important. And this is the moment of investment of my time that I am fully under control and not where people tell me, I'm getting experienced. Well, you want to get experienced? Be on your own without me around. Don't waste my time. When you're ready to talk and do real time and business, you come to me. Until then.
So do you know why is that?
No.
For you, it's not just the time that's value to you. For you, it's also the result.
Correct.
What is the final outcome?
Correct.
So if, whether it's your family members, whether it's your people who you work with, if you don't see what the outcome is going to be, you don't want to talk. So before anyone approaches you with something, you tell them, I want to see what the final outcome is going to look like.
Correct. That is very true. I see the end result before it even happened.
Right.
I don't know if it's a gift.
That is definitely your strength.
Or I don't know if it's a curse.
That is definitely your strength. Yes.
Because a lot of times when clients or people around you are not aligned with your vision, it becomes terrifying internal experience that it's almost impossible to deal with unless you go get a massage.
Now look, again, yes, you like to get things done. Yes, you're always looking for the final result and, you always want it to be a positive outcome. But as an archetype 1, you are someone who is hard-headed as well. And sometimes it's very hard for you to
let go.
Get in, not even letting go, but getting into that other person's position. understanding the other person. And that's what triggers you when people are not, I don't want to use the word obey, but
On the same page.
that's the word.
Right.
Meaning you will do anything for your people,
Right.
for your loved ones,
Correct.
as long as they're doing what they're told to do. Right?
Very true.
But again, you can't blame anyone, right? Because those are your subconscious programs. But
I was born this way.
you were born this way. But there's a big but into that. Those are your great qualities that you could use. Yes, but you can't overuse it. You can't take advantage of that.
Gotcha.
So your goal is to learn how to be more understanding towards others. It's not just all about you. It shouldn't be all about you, because ones are very self-centered people. So, and sometimes they just forget about that, and it's, it gets into a moment where it's just all about me. Let's do what I'm telling you because I know what's the right thing to do. But how about allowing others, giving them the chance to prove themselves that they can also do it?
I think once I see that the person is able to handle it and not let me down, and I see that they are leading in the right direction that's acceptable to my standards, then I let the control go. Until then.
But you see, there are standards.
Correct.
There are expectations.
Correct.
There are already have to be certain qualities.
Yes.
Right? But you can't do that. How is this person supposed to learn if they didn't even have a chance to?
Do you think celebrities like Elon Musk or J.Lo?
Elon Musk is actually an archetype 1.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so surprisingly, he's also a 1. And I was looking at his chart, the number chart, and it was actually very interesting how I noticed that he's also a 1. And again, 1s are leaders. And his life path is a 7, which tells me a 7th energy is a person who is here to put people through life transformations. Wow. And with the things that he's done to our society and how he's transformed so much for the people and for this world is just amazing. It's so amazing. And actually, you know what I was going to tell you? It's very interesting because Elon Musk and you have also certain similarities. In what way? Your weakness is your family. But Elon Musk's inner energy is also family, meaning that he'll do anything for the family. And both of your qualities, like the stronger qualities, is that you're both always seeking for the best and the most luxurious lifestyles, meaning you'll always be go-getters. You don't stop.
Thank you, God.
Yeah, which was very interesting.
In some ways, I feel it's a blessing, but sometimes it becomes very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because the body goes through the worn out moment where you need to take a break. But I think I'm very blessed that I have people like you in my life and many other friends that I was able to meet in my life that really guide me and show me the direction of a different path to learn, to understand, and to really turn my wheel around and see life from a different lenses. And I think that's a blessing to meet people like you that are able to share so much wisdom and knowledge.
That's how numerology inspired me as well. Just when you dive deep into the numbers and understand their energies, it's just so much easier to live life.
I know.
You stop judging people.
Yeah. You just let go.
You let go and you stop judging because you just understand what they're like. You can't do anything about it. We can't change people. We're here to change ourselves.
I think you just touched upon something super important. I used to think that if I know, then everybody should know. And if I'm telling you a certain task to do, and we, let's say, just sat at a lecture, I would assume that your brain absorbed the information the same exact way like I did. And if I saw that the outcome turns around to be totally different in action, because remember, learning and not executing, to me, it's a waste, right? So if we went to a specific seminar or a lecture, and then it's time to come back to the office, put it to work, and execute to life, and I see that it's not there.
Because not everyone absorbs the information the same way
Well,
as
I'm
you
learning
do.
this now.
Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Some people grab and grasp really fast because it's natural to them, just like it is to you. You're natural at it. So you grasp it really fast. For someone like who is, for example, an archetype 7 or an archetype 4, meaning that if you were born on the 7th, 16th, and the 25th, or if you were born on the 4th, 13th, and the 22nd, and the 31st, these people will grasp on the spirituality, studies. The
Religious.
No, not religious. I'm talking about the secrets of life, the laws of the universe, where that's like food for your soul.
Interesting.
And if you take another person and you put them in the same room, they're going to be like, what is going on here? I don't know what they're talking about. But for someone who's a 7, a 4, a 9 even, because those are also very wise people, that's like natural to them because they were already born with it.
Is number 1, 7, and 9 compatible?
So when it comes to compatibility, that's a whole other topic, right? That we could talk about here too. Here's what I like to say. Are they compatible? No such thing as are we compatible. It's all about the energies because everything is energy. Can we make things work? Yes. Can some energies resemble one another in a certain way? Yes. Can some energies go through a harder route together? Yes. Some energies go smoother together? Yes. There's always a will. There's always a way if there's a will, right?
If there is a will, there is a way.
Right. So in a business aspect, it's much easier to do a compatibility. But when it comes to relationship through like partners, marriage, to me, it's very important that people understand that God will find you your partner who's going to be the complete opposite of you. And there's a reason for that as well, correct? Because he'll most likely send you a person with the qualities that you lack. And those are the qualities that you need to learn from this particular person. Those are our discomfort zones. That's what's going to trigger us in our partners, are the things that we actually need to work on. So when anyone asks me, are we compatible? Everyone is compatible. If God put you together, then you can make it. If you made it work, then you're compatible. If you didn't make it work, he'll send you another partner just like that, until you look at this partner from a different perspective and learn and take those life lessons that you're here to take. Because you're meant to learn these specific qualities, the traits that are missing in your personality.
Interesting. You mentioned something about partners. There is some celebrities, those that I truly admire. One of them is J.Lo. But she seems to be changing partners pretty frequently. Do you think it has anything to do with her birth chart?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
You're kidding me.
for sure. So,
Is it in her control though?
of course, we choose to take control. It's all in our, like you said, if there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. But if we go back to J.Lo, it's very interesting that you actually mentioned this. J.Lo is an archetype 6. So that's for people who were born on the 6th, 15th, and the 24th of any month. For someone who is a 6, these people, they spend too much energy into their relationship, meaning they always need a lot of attention. They need a lot of affection. They need a lot of love. Why? Because they were born. God gave them specifically that love energy, the sexuality, the love energy, and they actually the lucky ones because they also come with the wisdom. But if we're talking about J.Lo, she is also an archetype 6. And for someone who is a 6, specifically in a relationship, what they need to learn to be happy, to be truly unconditionally happy and learn how to love unconditionally, because they are capable to do that. They come to families where there's lack of love, where they're here to teach their loved ones what is unconditional love.
Unbelievable.
But as kids, usually they rebel and they do the opposite and they ask for that love because they don't understand yet what they're here for. But the main thing for 6s is to be grateful for the littlest things. They're always looking for comfort, meaning that their ego is always going to be looking for comfort. They love the comfort lifestyle, the luxurious lifestyle, and they'll always be looking for that in their partners as well, meaning that if that partner is giving them some sort of discomfort in the relationship, they will always be already looking, what can I do to create that comfort in my lifestyle? Meaning changing partners.
Wow.
So, and that's another thing. And then her life path number actually is a 2, which is the second energy. And that energy automatically gives me an understanding where everything to her is through understanding. Meaning that for her, in a relationship, it's very important that she is understood. Because she understands other people, but if someone doesn't understand her, that provides her the discomfort in the relationship.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So again, is it changeable? Yes, definitely.
It's a lot of spiritual work.
Definitely. That's what numerology is all about.
What is the difference between astrology and numerology? Is it the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing. So astrology is obviously with the planets and the stars, and you need the time of your birthday, right? The time of your birth.
The date and time.
Yeah, the date, the time. There's a lot more, there's a lot of details in the astrology, but numerology also has a lot of details. The only thing that I can correlate numerology with astrology is that there are 9 main energies in numerology, and each energy correlates with a planet. So remember, like I said, you are the sun, you're the first energy, and the sun is the main first energy which shines upon all the 9 energies. So it's like it sits in the center of the, in the center, and then all the other planets are surrounding the sun. So that's why the sun loves doing and telling people what to do, because it's in the center. That's why ones are very self-centered. So that's the only correlation to astrology when it comes to, if we're going to put them together. Other than that, numerology can tell you a lot about a person just from those birthdays. There's obviously, there's a lot of formulas that are involved as well. But it can tell you what is your purpose in life. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How do you spend money? How do you attract money? How do you see your family, or how does your family see you? What do you expect from your family? There's a lot career-wise. What are you really meant to do?
Wow.
It's a lot.
Do you think you found yourself through numerology?
I definitely did. I most definitely did.
And when it comes to numerology, do you feel that you could see the path to where you come into this world, with, of course, with the dates, but does numerology allow you to see the life path?
Meaning, what is your life going to be like? No. What you can do, it's like, I call it a GPS. It's just going to guide you. As a parent, to understand your child, you can learn their qualities through their birthday and just understand what is the key to this child to speak with them so they could hear you. What is their language?
So you tell me that each child is born with their own dates and their own ability to communicate with a parent.
Of course. If the parent learns their energies, they will understand their weaknesses and their strengths. And that way, they can pick a specific way of communicating to this child, where you don't have to yell, you don't have to demand, because for someone who is like you as a child, if you demand to a child who's a 1, they won't do anything, because they already know ever since they're kids that they're the bosses and you can't tell them what to do. So you need to make sure that you give them a leading role in the house. So even if you have the youngest at home and he's a 1, you need to make him believe that he's the one who's in charge. He's the one who's in control when mom and dad leaves the house. And they need a role model. So for you specifically also, and I know we talked, so I believe you mentioned that your father was your role model.
Yes.
And this is exactly why you were able to open all these qualities in you as that leader in you that you have.
Well, my husband, my father.
Your father.
My father was a big leader.
Exactly.
Those that know or knew my father, they knew who he was, and the big, really very giving heart and soul that he was. And I think in the honor of my father, I've done a lot of different things since he passed 11 years ago. But yeah, I left without my dad at the age of 37. It was very difficult. And interestingly enough, I also discovered that you lost your dad also very early. So do you think it has a lot to do with us maturing and growing up?
For sure. My journey started when my father got sick. I started learning about the laws of the universe. I learned how to think positive, how to believe. That's where my journey started into spirituality. And yes, definitely, I think that's, it definitely changed us for who we became, because we learn to value a lot of things once we lose them.
Right.
And thank God, I'm grateful for everything. And I have to also say that I don't know how this happened. Like, we spoke prior to this, and we have so many similarities in our story that my father is my leader as well. He was my role model. He had the strongest qualities who I looked up to.
My father was born May 16.
He was a 7.
Again, 7.
Yeah.
All the 7th are around me.
Sevens are very, very spiritual. If we're going to talk about 7s, that's people who were born on the 7th, 16th, and and the 25th of any month. These are very, very special souls, meaning that they are here to help people go through life transformations. And if they're living their life in their comfort zone, not caring about much, just doing what they're doing, life will eventually hit them and tell them that, okay, it's time to wake up and it's time to make the changes because you're meant for something more. And I started feeling that when I reached my 30s, because in numerology, we're capable of understanding our second main energy that we live with literally every day is our life path number. And when I hit my 30s, early 30s, is when I started literally going through thinking not major life transformations quite yet, but that's where I started thinking, who am I? Why am I here? I feel it. I know something that I can do so much more than what I have and what I'm doing already. So that's when my 7th energy also, because my life path is also a 7. That's when it hit me, and that's when I started getting really deep into the spirituality and just learning a lot, and especially right now with numerology in my life, everything is just connecting. And you understand that because you're really doing what you're meant to do. Because when you're not doing what you're meant to do, no doors are going to open for you. No matter how hard you're going to knock on that door, but it's just not going to open.
When clients reach out to you, how do you begin your process?
So my main question is always going to be, what is your concern? Because majority of the people who do reach out to me is because they're going something through their life and they want to know why. They want to understand what's going on. What is it that I'm doing wrong? What is it that I'm not understanding from this situation that I can look from a different perspective? So my always question is, what is your main concern? And going off of that, I will do the whole session. Some people don't say their concern and they're just curious. But when I start talking to them,
it opens up.
It definitely opens up like a cabbage. We actually open a lot of things, and then they understand a lot of things about themselves. Like I said before, majority of the times, people will come, complaining about their relationships. My husband doesn't understand me. My husband doesn't hear me, or my wife doesn't hear me. What can I do? And we're always going to try to put it on the other side, right? We're always going to blame the other person and not look into ourselves. What is it that we are doing? Why is our partner behaving the way he's behaving?
So you think the trigger begins with you?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. You know, the qualities that your partner, the qualities in your partner that trigger you are
Like the
the
mirror of
actual,
you.
exactly. They're just mirroring you. Those are the things that you need to work on. And that's why they bother you.
Wow. It's very deep.
So once we learn how to work within ourselves and truly understand who we really are, because again, through the numbers, you can learn who you really are from within. And when you do that, you stop paying attention to other people because you're so busy learning yourself.
So keeping yourself busy.
Yeah.
Learning all the time.
Once you start investing into yourself and learning who you really are, the world around you just starts changing because you've changed. And other people and their personalities or their traits, they're not going to bother you anymore because you've passed it already.
Very interesting facts. What about children? The disconnection with children. Where do you think it should begin?
If we learn the energies of our kids and we have the right communication tool to them, then it's a lot easier to understand where do you put your child for all types of after school programs, for example. Where are their strengths? Some kids are good with music, but we throw them in basketball games. Some kids are, again, why? Because parents are going to try to make their dreams come true instead of their kids, right? That's the first thing, by understanding what their energies are like.
Wait. So when parents telling children, become a doctor, become an attorney.
Yeah, for someone who says become an attorney, but he actually has the qualities to become a doctor. Yeah, it's important to understand which path and which career to choose if you understand where are your strengths. You can still become a great lawyer if you're even meant to be a doctor. But I see a lot of people after 40 changing their careers. Why? Because they're not truly happy with what they're really doing.
It's so funny you brought this up. Do you know the amount of real estate agents that they become real estate agents after they have become an attorney? And sometimes I'm like looking back and saying, why did you need to go through law school to become an agent?
Because they realized that that's not what they're happy doing. And if they love, working with people and
Sales.
Their qualities are sales, that's why they go to real estate at 40 or 50.
So I think anybody who has a baby, they should come to you first. Learn the birth information and then have
It definitely
a
helps.
breakdown of who they are, what they meant to do, and don't waste any time.
Definitely helps. And you asked a question about what is the right time to go through that separation between the parent and the child, right? So in psychology world, we understand that separating, and I'm not talking about physical separation, I'm talking about energetic separation. Separating your child from a parent on the energetic level should already begin at the age of 14. Just because our children, they need to learn how to become independent, and they need to learn how to take care of themselves, not just financially, but learning how to stand up for themselves. Just
14, you said?
at 14.
Why 14?
that's just the age. In psychology, that's the age where, so I'll give you another answer. At the age of 14, a child's ego is fully formed.
Mm.
And that's when you're supposed to now allow your kid to make their own decisions, little decisions here and there. Start delegating, start hearing them. What do they really want?
So from age 14, we should allow them to make their own decisions.
Again,
Not fully.
Not fully. You still have a minor at home, but allow them to be self-formed by the time they reach into their adulthood, where they will learn how to take care of themselves, make decisions themselves. Not the reason for that is, why is this so important? Where once they separate themselves from their parents' home and they start their own lives, they eventually don't have to run back and forth and ask for advice. And I'm talking just little advice, big advices. We should always listen to our elders because, yes,
they're wise.
They're wise. They've lived life. But I'm talking about just minor things. You need to disconnect energetically from your parents so you can give all that energy to your kids as well.
Wow. That's also very deep.
It is.
Psychological moment to absorb.
Yeah, and I don't know if everyone is going to agree with us, but again.
Well, we're just putting the information out there, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Interesting. Milana, what does your sessions look like? If it's a new client, let's say I have a friend that called me the other day and she saw that you and I will do this session. She wants to know, what does it entails?
So my sessions are anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half long. And we will do them either FaceTime if they're comfortable or a phone call. And prior to that, I will get all their information, their date of birth and their name. And we just talk like me and you are talking right now. But I'll just be talking about them specifically, giving them a full understanding of who they really are on the inside and the outside. What are their weaknesses? What are their strengths? What is their purpose in life? What is it that they're meant to do that they still haven't been doing? Because a lot of the times people complain their financial status, that they're trying so hard. They've been doing this and they've been doing that, but nothing is just happening. And the first sign to that is if you still haven't found yourself and you're jumping from one job to another or from one career to another and you're still not happy, that means you didn't find what you're really meant to do. You're not doing what you're calling for.
At what age do you believe, based again on numerology, at what age do you think we are fully mentally aligned with what we're meant to do?
I love that question, actually. Remember I told you that for me, everything just started coming to me at the age of 30. But I've just recently celebrated my 43rd birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Thanks. And my post the title of my post was, Life Really Begins at 40. And before that, we are just doing research. So to me, it definitely starts at 40. That's when we're wise
So
enough.
40 years wasted or invested?
No, you're
or
investing,
learned?
you're researching, you're putting yourself out there.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, those are life lessons. I don't believe in the word problem because problems don't exist. You create them yourself.
Experiences.
Yes, those are life lessons, challenges.
Experiences of life.
Yeah.
Very deep conversation, Milana. I'm enjoying this.
I love this.
So I'm going to give you this one. My granddaughter and me are 10 days apart. She's going to turn 2 October 29th.
Uh-huh.
And as she's growing, this little muchkin, she just reminds me so much of me. And she has this strong personality. She's also October baby.
October what?
29. So me and her are just 10 days apart.
So she was born on the 29th, but she's an October baby, like you.
Yes.
October baby's task is to continue the family's financial status, taking it to the next level.
Interesting.
So yeah, so basically your granddaughter's job is to have a better lifestyle than what her parents have lived. Meaning grow your family's roots and the finances and just bring them to the next level.
She's making me work extra hours.
Yeah. But you said she was born on the 29th.
Yes.
This is also a very interesting fact. She's an archetype 2.
Wow.
So she is the one who is going to teach you how to understand other people and be able to get into other people's shoe and just try to at least feel what they're feeling.
You know, it's interesting fact you highlighting. Why do you think when we have children and then grandchildren, when you also have a grandbaby, right?
I do have a grandson.
We have so many similarities. It's hysterical. Why do you think that when it comes to kids, we act totally different than when we have grandkids? It's that emotional, totally different feeling when we have kids versus grandkids. What do you think happens in our mental psyche that treats a grandchild like a little dessert?
I think I'm going to put a little humor into this, right? Because, well, first of all, grandkids are a blessing. Kids, God bless them. They are our life lessons. And our grandkids is the actual dessert, right? The outcome. But to me, I just say it's just so good that you're able to enjoy them and spoil them.
Yeah.
And give them back. But there's actually something very interesting that I've heard recently. And it went like this. If you spoiled your kids, then you're going to be raising your grandkids. But if you raised your kids, you can now spoil your grandkids.
I love it.
So what we put into, our kids, that's the outcome we're going to get.
I really wish there was a school before parents became parents to go through just to learn the basics. Because it's all intuitive. It's also organic with the help and the support of close family and friends, right? But there is so much emotional that people need to learn when they're raising a child.
But I agree with you in a way, but life doesn't work that way.
Individual.
It's very, very individual. And if we had to go to school to learn how to become parents, we wouldn't learn the life lessons that our kids are bringing for us.
So you mean to tell me that we need to go through the waves of life?
Each child that comes into our life, specifically on a specific day, is also meant to teach you something.
My grandmother had 10.
I'm sure she had a lot of life lessons.
I have to tell you, she passed away at the age of 90.
There you go.
And I always question, how in the world did she make it through to 90? Because the amount of experiences that she went through was very, very heavy. And
that's what made her wise.
Right.
And live a long life. So I can't say, that you have to go to school to become a parent. Like you said it yourself, it's all intuitive.
Right.
Some parents are meant to do what they're doing. Some parents are not. And, if we're going to talk about parents and kids, I want to mention something about the soul itself, right? I know that there's a big concern out there that kids having kids and not understanding what they're doing in life, or, they're still young or whatever. Each soul that comes down to this planet already chose their parents. It already chose all the life lessons that it's going to go through, because everything is predestined. It's all pre-written. And
I don't know if I could agree to that. Because it's not something I could see and feel.
The qualities of the parents, the parents that are going to be lacking the qualities for that child, that soul already chose that specifically, because those are the things that they're here to learn by themselves. So I'll give you an example, just so you can understand this too. There are families where parents can take care of the kids financially, and the kids are taking care of the parents, right? We see that a lot. They're taking care of them financially, fully.
Right.
But in reality, like, we think that parents should be taking care of the kids because kids are their responsibility. But if we look on a different level, energetically, looking into the soul, that soul that is now taking care of their parents, let's say financially, that soul chose this path specifically so they can learn how to become independent, because maybe in previous life they've took advantage of their parents, and now they're here to pay back.
Wow.
So that's why we can't really, this is why we can't judge, because everything is predestined. Our soul chooses literally everything. Our parents, our partners, kids, everything.
I'm speechless. Did you learn all of this through numerology?
Yeah. Yes, because in numerology, we're also capable of understanding our, what we call tikkun, right? What is our life lesson?
Isn't it Kabbalistic world?
That is a Kabbalistic word. It's a Hebrew word. But if we say it in today's language, karmic debts. So going through your numbers, you can understand what is it that you've done or that you haven't resolved in your previous life, and you're here to resolve it. Why certain people in your life are here, and 99.9% people are going to be triggering you, and you're not going to be liking them, you're not going to be getting along with them, is because you have an unfinished business from your previous life. And you're here to finish that business the right way with the positive outcome.
Wow.
And when people don't know it, what do? They make the same mistake that they did in their previous life.
Milana, you're touching upon something very, very deep. In the end of the day, lots of people that we're surrounded by, we are witnessing the good and the bad. And it's their choice to choose how they want to live their life. Do you believe if they made the wrong choice in this life, they will come back to repeat itself to learn?
First of all, there is no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. There's just energy. And there's choices.
Mm-hmm.
The choices that people make could be wrong to you, but they seem just perfect to them. And if they resolve those choices with a positive outcome, that means they have completed their karmic knots. Because we have debts, and then we have the knots that we create here on daily.
Interesting.
So this is why it's so much easier to live life when you just understand that everybody makes mistakes, but these mistakes are our life lessons. Those are our real life lessons. There's no right or wrong. We should always look for a positive outcome from every negative situation. It's just, that's life.
Can you run away?
Now you're just going back into your comfort zone. If you run away from it, you run away from it, it'll catch you in your next lifetime.
Listen, that's a joke. Recently, I was sitting in the restaurant with my husband, and there was a couple of guys sitting in the back of my husband. And I was just witnessing how they were torturing that waiter. And as a person that stands with number one, I was observing to see the behavior of this girl. I don't know her personally, but I was just looking at her, and in my brain I was talking in a way, no, don't give him the number. Don't do that. And thank you God she didn't, because those guys were horrible. When they were done, the girl walked away. I looked at my husband and said, listen to me. I know it might scare you, but I will tell you the truth. I'm getting very sick and tired of seeing in this world a lot of actions and behaviors that I just can't tolerate. That's me.
That's your choice.
Correct. And I told him, I said, I wish I never have to come back. I really do. I want to do as much as I can during this time of my life that my soul never has to come back. And that's the truth.
That's a lot to do.
That's why I'm working so much.
You have a lot to let go.
Now you understand why I value every minute here during this time with so much intensity. Because the truth is, when my father left this world at 62, at that time my oldest son was already in yeshiva. And my youngest son was going for his bar mitzvah studies. And my kids took it very hard because my father was like their father. And then when my father was really not doing well, my kids spoke to the rabbi. And the rabbi told them, your grandfather is slowly finishing his journey to depart with this world. Take it as a blessing because his time is up and his journey is accomplished. At that time, I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't. It was so foreign to me. But it's so interesting what you said, that you started diving deep into spirituality when you were losing your father. And that's when I started to pay attention to numbers. And if I will show you my phone, how on a daily basis I go through repeated numbers 1111, 222, 333. And every time I see those numbers, I just simply say, thank you, Daddy, I love you. And I take a screenshot.
Those are angel numbers.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know. But I have my dad and my phone pretty much blended through all my lifetime that we're going through. And I think they just come in as blessings.
They definitely do.
Yeah.
They
I'm getting a
definitely
little
do.
emotional,
Which is good.
good.
It's actually very, very good.
Yeah.
We got to let it out. You say that. I like how you said that the rabbi explained to your kids that he has an expiration date and he's getting ready to depart. So I actually want to talk a little bit about the beginning and the expiration date, right?
Yes.
And the time.
The life in between.
The life in between and the time, how that time is also valuable to you. We spoke a little bit with you prior about how there is 9 years that every person lives in a cycle of a 9 year. And in between those cycles, we have pinnacles.
Mm.
So, again, what does that tell us? If we understand what energy we're living in right now at this moment, we know what to do.
Right.
We know what to pursue and we know what to avoid. And I'll give you an example. Right now is 2024. That if you sum it up, it comes to an 8.
Mm.
So we are all living
Infinity.
in infinity, but also the 8th energy, which is a karmic energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we see so much happening to this world right now.
A lot.
What is this world trying to tell us? To wake up.
And do what?
Start coming from a giving place.
I like
Start putting people ahead of yourselves. Suppress your ego and grow your soul.
that. I love that.
This is what this year is all about. It's a great year for people if they're in their business industries. This is a very good materialistic business where you can make a lot of money. But if you're living in the negative lifestyle and you're not doing anything to grow, to evolve, to invest into yourself, nothing is going to come your way.
Right.
And our next year, 2025, we are going to be entering our 9th energy, which is the end of the cycle, the whole 9-year cycle. which means that if people didn't wake up this year and they didn't make the changes, they didn't work on themselves, they didn't improve themselves, improve in their relationships, they didn't let go. Next year, it'll just be harder for them because it'll be even harder to let go. Before we enter our following cycle, which is 2026, we're going to be in the beginning of the first 9-year cycle, which is going to be the first energy. This is the beginning of a lot. And if this world doesn't change for better, it's going to get just harder and harder.
Wow.
And the expiration date, when you said that, right? This is specifically for people who live in their 9th year. And if they want to know what year they live in, they can contact me or come for a session, and they'll be able to understand what year they're living in. Because we, besides a general year, we all have our personal years as well. And it's very important to understand that if you're living in a specific energy, especially like a 9, this is the time to let go of that expired things.
Wow.
Throw them out. No longer needed. Let go. Create physical and energetical space in your surrounding so new people and new opportunities come your way.
Milana, do you have group sessions?
So as far as group sessions, what we try to do is master classes that I've recently actually just had here in New York, and I'm so grateful for that. You'll catch it next time. I'm thinking of making one in January again when I come visit you guys, but I'll post more info on that. But when it comes to groups, I'm actually looking into creating something smaller, more private, more intimate, not like the big master classes that I do, which I love, but I'm also open to creating these little groups, like 10, 15 people.
You have a location?
I could go to people's home and talk about numbers. And we can do little mini sessions. We'll talk about archetypes. And just from learning the archetypes, you can understand so much about you and your partners and your kids that you already have done a little bit of transformation in your life.
I already have an idea. I think you could serve as a great birthday gift for anyone who is having a birthday party.
Yeah.
And invite you over.
Yeah.
And serve this as a gift for those that are celebrating and to the family members that are coming to visit.
For sure. Yeah. I've you know what I've done before? I go to spas that, when they're having like events and stuff, and people invite me as a guest also there, and I just do little mini numerology sessions.
Nice.
And people love it. People love it because they get clarity.
Absolutely.
And clarity is everything.
Well, Milana, it's been such a pleasure having you today. We had it all. We laughed, we cried.
I didn't mean to make you cry.
It's okay.
Thank
you very, very much for taking your time, spending your time with me late at nights. Thank God Arizona is 3 hours ahead. So it works well when everybody goes to sleep and I stay up with you until midnight.
Yes.
It serves a great purpose for me.
I'm glad.
So then I
could
just go to sleep and be totally at peace. So everyone, Milana is a wealth of information when it comes to numerology and psychology, right?
And psychology in numerology.
In numerology. And if anyone would like to have a session with her, we'll post her information. She will be very easily accessible through text message, phone calls. Reach out and she's going to share with you everything that you need to know about yourself.
Thank you so much, Olga.
So today,
this has been
thank
a
you.
pleasure and an honor.
Thank you.
I'm grateful.
Today we learned so much. It was so much information that we exchanged. And I think it's always a pleasure to have someone who puts so much effort to learn and to really put it not only into yourself, but into the world. To me, it's an honor. To me, it's a treasure. You are a treasure. And anytime I will come and visit you in Arizona.
You should.
We'll get together.
We'll go to Sedona.
Absolutely. Oh, Sedona is my favorite place. Actually, Sedona is very spiritual.
Very.
Very
The
spiritual.
energies are crazy there.
If anyone haven't visited Sedona, it's definitely a place to go. So thanks everybody for joining us today. Continue watching my channel. There's so much fun stuff that's coming your way. Thanks.